this discussion, I'll explain what is required to start a drone business in the state of California. Starting a UAS business involves more than simply purchasing a drone and finding customers. The owner must satisfy both federal aviation requirements and California's business registration requirements. The first major requirement is compliance with the Federal Aviation Administration. Nearly all drone flights conducted for compensation or in support of a business are regulated under Title 14 of the Code of Federal Regulations, Part 107. The person operating the drone must obtain FAA Remote Pilot Certificate. To receive the certificate, an applicant generally needs to be at least 16 years old, be able to read, speak, and understand English, as well as pass the FAA's initial knowledge exam and complete a vetting process. The remote pilot must also complete the FAA's required online training to remain current. Each drone used under Part 107 must be registered through the FAA's Drone Zone system. The FAA currently charges $5 to register each Part 107 drone, and the registration is valid for 3 years. The aircraft must display its registration number, and the pilot must have access to the registration information during operations. Registered drones are also generally required to comply with the FAA's remote identification requirements. Remote ID allows the drone to broadcast identification information and location information while it is operating. A drone business must also follow Part 107 operating limitations. These include maintaining visual line of sight, generally maintaining 400 feet above ground level, yielding to crewed aircraft, and following restrictions for night operations. When operating in controlled airspace, like near many California airports, the pilot must obtain FAA airspace authorization. Operations that fall outside normal Part 107 rules may also require an FAA waiver. After meeting the aviation requirements, the owner must legally establish the business in California. The owner must choose a business structure such as a sole proprietorship, LLC, or corporation. The business must be registered with the California Secretary of State through the state's online filing system. A sole proprietorship is not registered with the Secretary of State, but it still may need to register with the city or county where the business is located. The exact process depends on the location, but most California cities or counties require some form of local business license or business tax certificate. Local zoning permits may also be necessary when the business is operated from a residence. California recommends using the Cal Gold Permit Assistance System to identify permits based on business activity and operating location. The owner should also obtain an employer identification number from the IRS, especially if the business has employees or is organized as an LLC or corporation. The company must establish procedures for federal and California taxes. A seller's permit may be required if the business sells or leases drones or equipment. A company that only provides drone services may have different tax responsibilities, so the owner should confirm the tax requirements with the California Department of Tax and Fee Administration. Finally, liability insurance is an important consideration. Although a general statewide insurance requirement does not apply to every small drone operator, many commercial clients will require proof of aviation liability insurance before awarding a contract. The business should also develop written operating procedures, maintenance records, and keep flight logs. Customer contracts and procedures for protecting collected data are important too. In conclusion, starting a drone business in California requires an FAA certified remote pilot, registered and remote ID compliant aircraft, compliance with Part 107, and the appropriate local licenses and tax registrations. Completing these steps provides the legal and professional foundation needed to operate safely, gain customer trust, and build a successful drone business. Thank you.